Well, hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Pastor McConnell here. Happy Monday morning to you. Today is day one of our 7 days of prayer and fasting. We're launching that today. And so, just coming on. So, throughout the week, Monday through Friday of this week, we're going to have a morning devotional period and a moment. And so I just invite you to be a part of this. We want to, the heart of the whole thing is that we want to engage with God, and we want to engage with God in such a way that we receive this joyful expectation of good as we launch into 2021, and we press into all that God has for us. Kind of underlying, I was thinking about this morning, underlying all of this is the conviction, the belief that we have that regardless of the circumstances, so the circumstances of life may shift and change. Clearly, we just came out of 2020 where we were all surprised by a variety of things. So the circumstances of life may shift and change, but we believe that God is using whatever the circumstances are, whatever they are, to increase His good and His blessing in our lives and through our lives. That's the bedrock conviction. So, wanted to share a couple things, some practical things first to begin with. So, if you haven't yet gone over to our website, www.cccSC.org, and navigated to our one word page, I encourage you to do that. So we've got kind of an explanation if you're new or unfamiliar about what this one word is. So there's a little bit of an explanation of that. There's a place where you can download the one word card. So we're asking you to prayerfully consider, what is the one word that God wants to highlight in your life in 2021? Maybe there's something that He wants to, a character trait He wants to develop in you. Maybe there's something He wants to take out of your life, remove, if you might. Maybe there's something He wants to increase. Hey, Dustin. So, whatever it may be, just prayerfully consider that. And so I encourage you in this week of prayer and fasting, to seek the Lord about that. So, hey, navigate over to that one word page. The other thing that's on that same page as well is some prayer and fasting resources, kind of an overview of prayer and fasting. Hey, Amanda. And so if you go over there, you can get some information about that. So let me say a couple things about prayer and fasting, especially the fasting side, because we're probably all familiar with the prayer part, right? Prayer is talking, communicating with God, all right? Talking to Him talking to you. That's prayer. The fasting part, you may be less familiar with. Let me say a couple things about that. First of all, let me normalize something. If you are anxious or you have a little bit of trepidation or anxiety about fasting, perfectly normal, all right? Many folks who have been doing this for a long time, they step into, if you might, giving up something, for a period of time. There's a little trepidation there. So if you have that, perfectly normal. Let me just define fasting in a sentence. Fasting is the giving up of some physical appetite for a spiritual purpose. Okay? So both ends of that are important. One, the giving up of something is important. Hi, TV Dad. Good morning. So the giving up of something is important, but the spiritual purpose is also critical. So it's that we're making space for a connection with God. We're disconnecting from something to connect further with God, to connect deeper with God. Both of those things are critical components. Really, without the spiritual purpose, if we're giving up something, it's really more of a diet, right? It's really more of a, something that, has benefit, but has limited benefit as it pertains to our relationship with God. So it's critical. Both ends of that are important. Giving up something for a spiritual purpose. Let me say a couple other things. So what should you fast? Okay, what should you fast? These are two questions I ask myself as I come into a season of prayer and fasting. What will free up my time? Okay, what is going to free up my time? And what is there any appetite, anything that I am desiring that I believe I just can't do without that? Whatever that is. I ask myself those two questions, and usually, excuse me, usually the answer to what my fast is going to look like is it starts right in the answers to those questions. What's going to free up my time, right? So what thing can I give up? So, we've talked about there's the social media, the movies, the Netflix, the Hulu, all those kinds of things. The Audible app, whatever, YouTube, etc. There are those things. Then there's also, like, I look at my, like, what I'm eating, and I say, man, I can't exist without that thing, whatever that is. And usually that's what launches, what is going to be part of my fasting period. Let me say one other thing. Hey, parent, as a fellow parent myself, our kids, I have 5 kids from 7 to 20, all right? Involve your kids. Your kids can be involved in this. Even at, so I'm just saying to you, like yesterday, literally last night, we had a family meeting. We sat down. Hey, we've been talking about both the one word and the prayer and fasting. We talked about both of those things. And we just said, hey, listen, this is what we're thinking we're going to do. We're just going to amend, a couple days of, a couple meals. We're going to amend them a little bit. Okay, so, no, there won't be any lack of nutrients or anything that growing kids need to have or anything like that. We're just going to make a slight amendment, and enough that there is going to be a sacrifice there, because that's the fasting part. My kids joked yesterday, Dad, we want to fast school. Oh, okay, that's an idea, but the sacrifice is missing. So it needs to be something sacrificial, and so we talked about it, and so my kids, to my 7-year-old, to my 20-year-old, they're going to engage the fasting process. So parents, I encourage you, involve your kids, don't leave them out. This is a great foundational way to set something of foundation in their lives. That's what Marie and I are believing for. We want to set a foundation for them in terms of their relationship with God as they continue to grow in years. All right, so that said, I just encourage you. Hey, Jessica, good morning. I just encourage you to step into this season of prayer and fasting this week, these 7 days of prayer and fasting with us. Let me share. So our devotional for today is the word that came to my mind is pray. It's pray. So we want to increase our prayerfulness this week. We want to increase our prayerfulness and the activity of prayer. And I was thinking about this verse in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 17. It just simply says this. Hey, Todd, good morning. It simply says this: never stop praying. Simple. Never stop praying. And my thought to you is every opportunity, every moment that goes by today, every interaction you have is an opportunity to pray, right? So that prayer might be a prayer of thanksgiving. God, thank you for my children, my family. Thank you for this job that I have. Thank you that I get to provide for my family. There may be prayers of thanksgiving. There may be prayers of petition. God, please help me with this particular task. It's challenging me. Maybe there's a relationship that's challenging. God, please help me with this relationship. So listen, I'm just saying, every opportunity, every moment, there is an opportunity to pray. So let's increase our prayerfulness. Let me remind you of what the verse says. Never stop praying. So that doesn't mean, hey, listen, I need to have a alarm bell that says, but because prayer is, you can just do it as you're breathing. As you're breathing, with every breath, you can just, God, I just need your help. God, please come into this. God, I'm thinking of this family member that's apart from Christ, and I'm praying for them. I'm remembering them right now, just, in your mind, right? So we can do that. Let's increase our prayerfulness. And so, hey, listen, over the next few days, we're going to be breaking down that word pray as we look at the one word process. If you have a one word already, That's awesome. We want to encourage you to kind of lean into it, develop it, process it. So we're going to talk about a few things, kind of using the acrostic pray. If you haven't yet gotten a word, that's what I'm just asking you to prayerfully consider. And I believe it will be the fruit. Hey, Marie. It will be the fruit of an increase in prayerfulness. So I encourage you today, let's increase our prayerfulness as we pursue God with prayer and fasting this week. All right? Hey, listen, we will jump back in. We'll be in on our devotionals every morning, Monday through Friday this week. And so we will see you tomorrow. God bless you. Bye for now.